Buying a house is probably one of the biggest purchases in someone's life, but unfortunately, with inflation, renovation costs are just getting more expensive. In today's video, I'm going to share with you some tips on how to save on renovation costs in Singapore. This applies regardless whether you've purchased a BTO, a resale HDB, or a condo unit. First of all, you need to know what you want. Are you going to sell the flat immediately after MOP? Or are you going to stay there maybe around 10 to 15 years or so while waiting for the kids to finish their school? Or is this your forever home? Once you know what you want, then set a budget. The reason why this is a very important question for you to answer is because it should determine how much money you should spend on the renovation itself. For example, if you are sure that you are going to immediately sell the house after MOP, then it is sufficient to do some basic renovation with a modern theme and a neutral color palette. Plus, you should avoid hacking any walls that will reduce the number of bedrooms. But if this will be your forever home, then it actually makes sense to budget more on the renovation to make sure you and your family can be comfortable, and so that you pick materials that are more long-lasting. And by all means, you can paint the living room bright pink if you want to, because you don't have to worry about selling the house later on. Okay, the next tip is to minimize the built-in furniture. Having a built-in wardrobe or customized TV console might seem to be the standard in today's renovation, but you don't have to. It does make the house look more cohesive, but carpentry work can cost 10k or even more. Prioritize carpentry work where it makes sense. For example, kitchen cabinets. But for things like TV consoles, wardrobes, shoe cabinets, you can actually just buy loose furniture. It'll be cheaper, plus you can bring them to your next house when you are moving out. Speaking about furniture shopping, I have a $30 shopping voucher for you from HipFan. HipFan is an online furniture shop in Singapore that carries a unique selection of sofas, tables, chairs, and many more. If you prefer to see and try their furniture directly, you can visit their showroom at Suntec City Mall. Click the link in the description down below to get a $30 voucher for your purchase. The next tip is to avoid hacking walls if you want to save some money on your renovation. I know your interior designer will say apartments in Singapore nowadays are so small and you should just hack the wall between the master bedroom and the common bedroom to build a nice walk-in wardrobe, etc. But do you know that the real reason they recommend hacking to you is simply to make more profit? That's it. The way that interior design company works is the more you spend on the renovation, then the more profit they can make. So if budget is a concern, it'll be much cheaper if you keep the same footprint of the house and avoid hacking walls. If you have the time and passion, a good way to save some money is to do some of the work yourself or engage a contractor instead of fully delegating everything to an ID firm. Most people think that when you engage an interior design company, then you need to renovate the whole flat with them. Well, that's not always the case. There are some ID firms who are willing to do partial renovation. For example, this firm has a package to just renovate 2 bathrooms, or they also have a package to renovate only the kitchen and 2 bathrooms. Since this is not a sponsored content, I'm not going to tell you which ID firm it is, but I just want to show you the proof that such an option does exist. So in theory, it'll be much cheaper if you mix and match several approaches. For example, use ID firm to renovate the 2 bathrooms and install a false ceiling in the living room. To overlay vinyl flooring, you can just buy directly from a store and top up for their installation service. And for painting the walls, you can just do it by yourself. It's very easy to do. I'm not a handy person, but even I was able to repaint my 3-bedroom apartment, including the living room, for under $200. There are even paint stores that can deliver all of the paint and brushes directly to your house. Click link in the description down below for my recommendation on where to buy paint online. And for the kitchen, generally you can save about 30 to 40% if you buy your kitchen cabinets from IKEA plus use the installation service from their partner. I know you might think, oh no, if it's IKEA then it wouldn't last long. But that's not necessarily true, because IKEA actually has tiered products to serve customers at different price point. They even have materials that have 25 years of guarantee. If you want to know how to order an IKEA kitchen, click link in the description down below, as I am covering the details on a separate video. Okay, the next tip to save money is to pick alternative materials. The choice of material is a big part of your budget. Some expensive materials can be replaced by cheaper options. For example, overlaying a floor with vinyl instead of retiling it can reduce the renovation cost in Singapore significantly. Similarly, to make a feature wall, you can opt to paint one of the walls with a different color rather than using wallpapers. Another tip is to get appliances and furniture from overseas. For example, you can get lights, fans, or even mattresses from Malaysia. Most stores in JB are willing to send their goods to Singapore. You just need to pay the GST, but it's still worth it because you can save around half the price compared to Singapore. But just note that usually there's no international warranty. If you are willing to wait longer, you can also purchase furniture and appliances from Taobao, AliExpress, or EasyBuy. The carpet that I got for my living room was less than $20. On average, the shipping time from China to Singapore by sea is around 4 to 6 weeks, but the amount of money you can save is crazy if you are willing to be patient and plan ahead. By the way, AliExpress and EasyBuy have options in English, so you don't even have to speak Mandarin. Okay, my next tip is probably going to sound a bit strange, but it does help to save money. Avoid using renovation loans. You know why? Because it has an interest rate. Regardless how much money you borrow, you will still need to return it with interest. So you ended up paying more if you borrow the money versus just paying it out of pocket. If you know that you need to renovate your place in a few years' time, it's best to start saving and cut your spending 1 or 2 years ahead. If you are still on the journey to find a house, check out my other video about buying and selling your flat without the help of an agent in the description down below. Or check out my channel as there are a lot of other tips related to Singapore. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye!